Welcome back, guys. This week here bringing you a video on the Division 2 open beta. So, initial thoughts on this game is it's good. You know, there are minor issues I did run into, such as a couple of glitches. But, you know, that happens on like any game. Doesn't really matter what game it is, you're going to run into glitches every now and then. You know, it just happens. You know, as it goes for, you know, other, yes, like, that's the point of betas, you know, to make sure that the game is in a fully functioning state when it is released. Now, yes, I didn't play much of the Division, so there are some things that, you know, jumping into this one I don't quite understand. You know, like exactly when the time frame is this. Like, I mean, I know it happens after the original Division, but I'm not, you know, I couldn't tell you the time frame of it, obviously, you know. And I know that it's based off of a chemical attack, I believe, that was released in New York, and beyond that, I'm not quite so sure. But, you know, the gameplay in and of itself is fun. You know, the shooting mechanics are good. I'm kind of inaccurate, that's on me at certain parts. You know, and it is what it is. Now, I'm certain, you know, as you go through the game, you'll get gear, you know, whether that's like just cosmetic clothing or, you know, stuff that actually improves, you know, damage resistance and blah blah blah. You know, I know you're gonna get weapons, you're gonna get you know, probably better grenade. You know, you have skill trees and all of that good stuff, like in any other MMO-esque game. You know, it is what it is. Yes, now, you know, the cover system I do like how you can run from one area to another area, you know, to cover. You know, if you want to do that, you know, you can just run. Yes, like I said, you know, I am kind of inaccurate, and that's just me. You know, here's a perfect example of this. He's like right there in front of me, and I'm shooting beside him. But yeah, you know, yes, my armor. I mean, you know, hey, it is what it is. Like, you know, obviously, you know, you're, you know, being a player of any game, you know, you're not gonna be 100% effective at everything. Like, you know, I do lose my armor there. You know, there's ways you can, I mean, yes, apparently you get like armor patch kits, you know, grenades and the like, you know, which have different ways to, you know, equip them and all of that, and that's cool. But, you know, yes, like any MMO-esque game like this, you know, whether it's this game, Fallout 76, Destiny 2, Anthem, you know, there's always going to be issues cropping up. You know, a big thing about Destiny was, oh, it didn't feel like a complete game. You know, there's people complaining about Anthem, saying that it doesn't, saying that there's not enough in-game content. And, you know, these, you know, is this game going to feel like that once it is released? Like, once it's completely released, is it going to feel like that? You know, is it going to feel that, you know, this game doesn't have content after you beat it? You know, for the, you know, for the YouTubers that like just rush through the story trying to just, you know, get content out to the people or whatever. Is it going to feel like that? You know, frankly, we don't know. You know, people are saying that about Anthem, saying that, you know, that's the case with Anthem. It just feels like, you know, for as long as it was in development, you know, there should be more in-game content. You know, with Destiny 2, people like I played Destiny 2. My main concern is the simple fact that it feels like it should have just been the DLC for the first game. You know, there's not it's not a huge. There's not a big story to it. It's fairly short. Like, for it to be $60, it does not feel like it was completed like it should have been. I think that they should have. I'm not gonna say waited to release it. It feels more like an add-on for the original, as opposed to a fully fledged game. So far from what I can tell with this one versus the original Division, it does not feel like it is yes, it feels like a continuation, but also a new game. It doesn't feel like, oh, this is just kind of tacked into it. It's nice, and in all honesty, it's nice to see a post-apocalyptic game that doesn't involve like nuclear weapons going off. Like, I know this was something to do with a chemical attack. Beyond that, I'm not exactly certain. I couldn't tell you. But it's nice to see that it's not just your typical like run-of-the-mill post-apocalyptic stuff. It makes sense that you have factions come up. You have the government, you have the hyenas, you have these guys and these guys and these guys, and it makes sense. In a world like this, you would have that happen. Yes, I'm just inaccurate all over the place on some of these. Yes, right there. I was not trying to do that. I was just trying to crouch down in the cover. Yeah, buttons, right? But yes. Like, that should never be how a game feels. A fully fledged game should never feel like it's not, like it shouldn't be a $60 game. Like any game should not feel that, it's just kind of like it should be DLC for a previous installment. Now this game, yes, yes, I'll say this. This game could have been, DLC tacked on to the original game. Could have been like his first like major expansion, giving you a new area to explore. That I've seen games do that. Final Fantasy 14 is a prime example of this. Heaven's Ward. Now, yes, it was an area that you could get, you kind of get into, but you couldn't get into the town or the city of, I think it's Ishgard. I don't know. It's been a while since I played that game. But yes, you couldn't get into the city, but you kind of knew it was there. But then they introduced a whole lot of other playable areas. Stormblood the same way. It released a whole slew of playable areas. So that's why I'm saying, like, I could have understood if the Division 2 was a add-on area. That's fine, but at the same time,
is you.
I guess Ubisoft decided, we'll just make this an entirely new game as opposed to just tacking it onto the Division, because
let me show you exactly how screwed we are.
We know that this is going to be a good idea. I understand, their thought process is, hey, if we don't have, that many people like playing the Division,
they need more help.
We release a new game that'll kind of get people interested, into playing the game. I get their thought process on it. But sometimes just releasing like packs or just releasing like DLC for a game like this is a better idea than releasing a new one. But at the same time, this game doesn't feel like it would just be DLC.
There's a new sheriff in town,
which is a good thing, or so far. you know, at least.
By the way,
But
Agent, head downstairs
yeah,
and check in with the quartermaster.
you know, you find out more about
He can
your
get
base
you set up with some
operations.
vision
After
tech.
that, you know, how you can get more personnel to unlock different features. You know, blah blah blah. Like, I mean, yes, they didn't change that from what I can tell from the core aspect of this, the original division. Yeah, so at this point, I do kind of get confused as to how to get out or downstairs, so I just kind of run around. But yeah, you know, like yeah, I should just ran right there, but yeah, like an idiot, I didn't. But that's kind of my thoughts on this game. That, you know, it is good, it is fun, it doesn't feel, you know, it doesn't feel like this is just a DLC expansion for the original division, you know, which is good. I think that if it had, I think a lot of people would have been upset with it, you know, and we'll find out, you know, when the game actually releases, you know, how, not only, you know, how it feels,
Hello.
but, you know, how everything just works with it. You know, we'll find out once that happens. You know, yes, in the beta, I'm assuming you can only go up, like, probably to, like, level 6 or so. I'm not exactly sure, but, yeah, so, there we go on that. You know, you do see a little bit of the skills, skill tree explain. But, yeah, there we go on that. So, remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you do enjoy this content and you do want to see more. And until next time, Dead Speak.